water, earth, fire, air.
Ha, this is not so hard. They call me Sokka, that is, in the water tribe.
Wait, that's not how it goes.
Airbenders, act natural!
Podcast. I'm your host Shinry, here with my friend.
Sup guys, it's Silver, not Sokka, does not have an Akka.
And we are going to talk about Avatar, The Last Airbender, the Netflix show.
Damn man, I didn't know you have a Tinder.
Yeah, that's a whole different story though. Whole different story. All right, so we're both fans of Avatar: The Last Airbender. I grew up watching it when it was showing on TV. What about you, Galen?
I didn't get to watch each episode when it was airing on TV, but I obviously fell in love with it. Years later, I've binge watched the series at least 3 times in the last 5 years, and a couple times before that. And
yeah, it is. It's definitely that good. Like it has like so much.
Like,
what's the word? Not replay value. Well, I guess replay value might be the word, but I feel like there was a stronger word than that.
What is the word? There's the word for that. Watchability.
Yeah, but it's like a stronger word than either way. Like rewatchability is definitely what we're gonna go with. But yeah, so our relationship with the show. Well, I'll start with me. So I remember when it came on. This was around the time that I met Kevon for the first time. I was in like 8th grade. I was at my bus stop, and Kevon was actually doing airbending tricks. Not like literally airbending, but just like pretending to be an airbender. And I was like, oh, I watched that show too. So wait, what got you into the show then? If you didn't watch it when it aired, Galen?
I did get to catch a few episodes here and there when I was a kid, but I didn't actually have Nickelodeon growing up. But I mean, I had friends friends who liked it that got to watch it. So I mean, and then streaming happened eventually. That's all there is to that.
True, and it had a good run. The 4 seasons were pretty great. Although I feel like what do you think? Do you think like it had the perfect amount of episodes, or do you think it came out a little bit longer? Because like I'm kind of on the fence. Like I feel like I loved the opening with the water tribe. First of all, I loved like the book format, like Book of Water, Book of Earth, Book of Fire. Well, no, it started with Book of Air, I think, right?
Yeah, it really. Water comes first in the cycle after air. So because he learns waterbending first, and then earth, and then fire. Because there actually is a reason for that.
What's the reason?
We'll probably talk about it later. But if you remember, it's a little bit early to be talking about this. But there's an episode. What's it called? Which episode is it? The Deserter, where Aang meets Zhang, the firebending master, before he even gets to the water tribe. And he tries to learn fire before he's even ready for that, because he needs to like learn patience and stuff.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, we're talking about the show in general. So, I mean, we could talk about like our thoughts on like how he mastered each. Like him mastering water was perfect. Although I don't feel like Katara, in my opinion, wasn't done justice in season 1. She's done justice by season 4, the Book of Fire, in my opinion, for sure. But I don't think she did a lot in the Book of Water, like as far as training Aang, even though he did master water by the end of that first season.
It was more like they learned together.
True. Yeah. Oh, yeah, because they went to the southern or northern water tribe, I think. They're from the Southern Water Tribe.
Because in the beginning, Katara also like hadn't actually properly learned waterbending yet. She was just kind of practicing on her own time.
Right. She had like, that's my thing. Because she had a little jug of water. Like compared to like what she does in season 4, like I wish she would have had like that epic moment that Aang had, like lifting all the water up and tilting the battleships of the Fire Nation. Like I wish like she had more moments like that with like a massive amount of water. Although she does get like. I mean, again, we're talking about post the show blood bending. That was crazy.
Okay, she also gets the bit in towards the end of book 1 where she fights the master using only what she'd learned on her own, and she like holds her own for a little while, and that's honestly impressive.
Nice. I guess I haven't rewatched it recently. I know I've seen all of it, like for sure, like at least twice for sure.
It's like,
but yeah, I'd have to rewatch that. Yeah, because she's an amazing character. So with her brother Sokka.
Oh, don't get. What have you done? What have you done? Sokka is my favorite character for so many reasons.
Mine's gonna be Toph, but that's a different story. I love how tough and awesome she is, and just they made her so cool.
She's so unhinged, and I love it.
Agreed. Well, no, that's the one unhinged is Azula.
Oh, that's a different kind of unhinged. It's like
True.
Toph has mannerisms at least. Azula is just she will do anything.
True. Okay, so we have a pretty good relationship with the show. Definitely major fans. Like I said, my favorite seasons. I mean, it sounds cliche because it's the end of the season, but season 4, like for so many reasons, like Katara versus Azula was dope. Avatar, Aang and Zuko teaming up, doing the fire dragon dance, like learning firebending.
Oh, that was such an amazing episode.
Bro, oh yeah, that episode was beautiful. That was a beautiful episode. Loved everything about it. I even tried doing the dragon dance like several times.
So one of these days.
So let's talk about this. Since we're talking about our relationship with the Avatar, if you could be a waterbender, firebender, earthbender, or airbender, which one would you be? And I already have my reason.
I've been asked this conversation so many times, or this question so many times, and I still can never really decide.
You have to make a choice right now. Gun to your head.
Persona.
That's a good. Well, even if you're a Persona, you have an element power. So which one are you
gonna? Let's see. If I was a firebender, I could make grilled cheese sandwiches all by myself.
That's true.
Honestly, I think water has the most utility.
True. I was reading Demon Slayer recently, and that's true. Water can take any shape, and it can be hard enough to cut a rock in half. Plus, they essentially have ice bending too, as well as blood bending, if you want to go dark and evil. And the power of the full moon gives you like the strongest, or the lunar eclipse, I think it was.
Yeah, the solar eclipse.
The solar eclipse is for firebenders. Lunar eclipse is for the waterbenders. Okay, so which one did you choose, a waterbender or a firebender? So you make your grilled cheeses. Because I want to tell you mine in a second.
Let's see. The air gets wiped out. I think I just have to go.
We're not talking about it getting wiped out.
I don't want to die.
Would it be easier if I tell you mine first?
Yeah, sure, go for it. That might help.
Okay, so I initially was going to say firebender because they can use lightning bending. So if anybody hasn't seen the show before ever, which might be a rare thing, but it has happened. So if you're a waterbender, you have essentially also ice bending. If you're an earthbender, you also essentially have like sand bending and metal bending. If you are did I already say firebender? If you're a firebender, you have access to lightning bending, which is what and then air doesn't have a like supplement or change ability, but air is what I choose. The reason why I'm gonna tell you in a second, because first I would have been a firebender. The first time they started using lightning in the show, I was like, oh, I want to be a firebender, because as a kid, I've always loved lightning. Like if I could be Ryuji in Persona 5, I would have. If I could have been Static Shock, I would be. But there's one more power I like more than lightning, and that's air. The reason why is I always said, well, okay, so it goes back to, I'm going to derail this conversation for like 2 minutes real fast.
Go for it.
There was this game on GameCube called Mystic Heroes. Do you know what that is?
You've told me about it, and a few times actually. I've seen it in shops. I was like, I'll get that next time. Every time.
Okay, so I'm going to explain this to the new fans that don't know this. When we used to play Mystic Heroes, it was me, Justin, Dylan, and Kuvon. And in Mystic Heroes, you have 4 powers, just like the Avatar. You have fire, water, air, and lightning. You don't have Earth. So those are the 4 powers. And Kivon always chose water because he liked mermaids. Justin chose fire because fire was cool. Then me and Dylan would go back and forth about lightning and wind. Dylan would not play if he did not have the lightning guy. He always would quit if he wasn't the lightning guy. So I got stuck with wind. And I used to complain about it because, like I said, I used to prefer lightning. I want to be Static Shock. I want to be Ryuji from Persona 5. But in Korra Season 3, what I always said would happen if you were an airbender would happen. He sucked the oxygen out of somebody's lungs and killed them in an air bubble. That is why I would be not to go evil. It's not to be evil, but do not try me. I will suck the oxygen out of the room and you will die, bitch. So that's mine. What would you be? Would it be the firebender for the grilled cheese? Or the waterbender for versatility, or what else do you have in mind? Go ahead and tell our fans, our future fans out there.
I mean, if you're an airbender, you can fly, but why can't why can't? All right, well, all right.
But a waterbender, you can probably do underwater.
All right, but hear me out. If I was an earthbender and I learned metal bending, I could control my boomerang.
Well, is your boomerang metal? Because I don't know. I think Sokka's was like wooden, wasn't it? Or like
I'm pretty sure it was metal. I'm pretty sure all his weapons are metal.
Okay, so Sokka fans, Sokka. Okay, all right.
Sokka's my favorite character. Like,
I feel that.
It's like that's kind of partially why it's so hard to pick like a favorite element, because my favorite character is a non-bender, and he also learns from a non-bender who happens to be.
Speaking of non-bending, don't forget about that was a water bending technique. They were removing somebody's bending, the guy from Korra Season 1, because they called it something bending. I forgot. He made up a name for it, but he turned to be a waterbender.
I don't think that was because Aang does that to defeat Ozai.
Yeah.
But
I'm saying, like, it was a type of non-bending, too. I think he claimed it was a type of non-bending, but it turned out he was a waterbender. So I'm not saying Aang used waterbending to take bending away, but I'm saying that's how the guy it's portrayed in Korra's Season 1. That's how he did it, which I think it was a type of bloodbending. But that's the other sub for waterbending is bloodbending. So I forgot about that. It's not just ice; it's also bloodbending. But okay, so you'd be a non-bender, or a metal bender. Well, I guess earthbender with the supplement of sand/metal, which is pretty cool, pretty dope.
It's Sand Slash.
There you go. All right, so the reason why we're talking about this is because the Netflix anime or Netflix live action, not anime, Netflix live action of Avatar: Last Airbender is coming out. And the last time we had something like this was M. Night Shyamalan's terrible Avatar: Last Airbender movie.
Shit, when did that come out? 2008?
I think so. I remember seeing it in theaters. I was hyped to see it too because like the look of like the animation or CGI of him lifting up the water and everything, it gave me chills. But the movie was just so rushed, and that's one thing I want to talk to you, or we should talk about now. Is like when they do this, what should be cut for like a season 1? Silver.
Oh, sorry. I was actually looking at what year the M. Night movie came out. 2010. I'm old.
Oh, yeah, I just graduated high school. Well, we all just graduated high school, me and my friends.
I think I was like, I was either in middle school at the time or, I think it was like my last year in middle school and then high school after that.
What year did the Avatar: The Last Airbender end then? Because I thought it played during high school. Are you able to look up that real fast? Like, when did the Last Airbender end?
It ran 2005 to 2008.
Oh, July. Wow, they made a movie less than 2 years. Oh, that's kind of sucks because that movie was really bad. Like, it could have been great. It could have went on for like, especially the teaser with Azula. Like, that girl looked perfect for Azula.
Because from what I hear, and I hope I'm like remembering this right, but from what I heard, there were 2 reasons M. Night made this movie, and neither one of them had anything to do with like a passion for the series or anything. Well, no, okay, so technically his daughter like really liked Avatar and Katara was her favorite character, but like he really didn't understand what made the show special in the first place. And the whole reason he made the movie in the first place was because he wanted to prove to critics or whatever that he could make a movie that wasn't, a psychological thriller or whatever, like The Sixth Sense. and he obviously failed. He obviously failed miserably.
I mean, yeah, directors and producers and writers can do different genres, but like you have to at least like watch the source material, talk to fans of the source material. Like you have to understand because, oh yeah, the biggest gripe I remember about that movie, and I'm gonna add some clips in here of like people being upset that he was called Ong instead of Aang. They're like, why did they call him Ong?
Apparently, that was them trying to be culturally sensitive or something. I mean,
I understand, but you know how fans are, man.
I'm Chris Underwood for Reel's channel at the Century Rio 24. You check out the first fans for The Last Airbender. And I must say, this is my favorite first fan so far. We're here with some of the younger first fans for The Last Airbender, and we'll start with the youngest. What do you think?
It sucked.
It sucked.
It's terrible.
It's horrible.
I really didn't like it.
But some believe there is still hope.
Here we go.
Pretty much like they skipped through the entire movie pretty much. They rushed the entire thing.
Like it didn't explain things fully.
The movie could have been as bad as it is right now, and if they had just called him Aang once!
Just back away, really slow.
Aang!
It was too rushed, dude. They didn't have enough detail in it.
They skipped a lot of things. The acting wasn't good. The characters really screwed up each other's names.
You don't take the main character and change his name.
No, you don't, because it's such a letdown. His name is Aang.
I gotta tell you, I've never been more disappointed in a movie.
I'll be happy if they at least said Aang once.
Aang!
I thought that it kind of sucked if you like Avatar the show.
I don't actually think M. Night Shyamalan has ever even seen this show.
I want my money back.
Wow.
And I actually wish I had my hair back, too.
We recently saw the midnight premiere of Eclipse, and we're big fans of that, but I think this was definitely better than that.
I should have gone and seen Twilight.
Easy, guys, easy. Let's take it down a notch.
I don't want to diss it. It was bad. Don't go see it.
I want to tear down M. Night Shyamalan.
I think they took out the best parts of this movie.
Momo. I never heard the name Momo once.
June wasn't in the movie. I should have been.
There was a young lady dressed as a Kyoshi warrior, and she has actually taken the costume off because she wasn't even in the movie.
And just so I can point out, we have a line of people that I don't think, did any of you guys like the movie? No! Yeah, they didn't like it. For Reel's channel, I'm Chris Underwood, and I'll see you next week.
I mean, it's a like, regardless of whether it's like inspired off of Chinese culture or anything, it's still a fantasy show. Like it's still a fantasy show as much as like it's inspired off of, different like Chinese cultures and stuff.
Speaking of that, it's being a fantasy show, like it's not real. I really hope, like, whether this Netflix version is good or bad, they leave the actors alone, especially because this is like an actual kid playing Aang. I really hope, like, if it's bad, no one gives him any hate or anything like that. Because I know fans are out there; they love to send hate mail, and I like
on the one hand, like on the one hand, I feel like in this day and age, especially since this is the first time I've ever seen like a property get a second chance at a live action adaptation after failing one years ago. Mm. So on the one hand, you have like there's a lot of weight on its shoulders, but on the other hand, maybe people are just going to shrug it off like, oh, look, another bad one. But I mean, over the past couple of years, it's been a pretty decent run for live action adaptations. True, because we just had the live action One Piece, which even non-fans, like I know a lot of non-fans that just started watching that and they instantly said like, I'm starting One Piece now. So it could be, that's what I'm saying, like Avatar, since it ended 2008, the new generation after us might not be familiar with Aang unless like I know it just had a video game come out, which apparently went under the rug because that game looks bad. I watched. Oh yeah, no, I watched a Retro Rebound video on it. I forget the guy's channel off the top of my head, but Retro Rebound. He did a video on it, and I was like, oh, this could have been so good if you just put the work into it. I think I watched that too. I don't remember what the name of the video, who the guy was, but he played all the Avatar games. I remember I played one of them was on the Wii or the GameCube. But yeah, this one looks so bad. I'm like, how could you mess it up? Especially in 2023, like you could have made the coolest game ever. It doesn't look like they actually tried. It looks like they bought something that parents are going to buy for their kids. That's all. It's
Turn
like
your brain off.
shovelware, and it's like we live in an age where like that's not really in like trend anymore. So when they do it with like Avatar, which is like one of the most beloved shows of all time, it's like you feel like you think it deserves better, you know? Like
we live in an age where Hogwarts Legacy just came out, where you could be your own wizard, put yourself in any house. Imagine that, but as Avatar. You don't play Aang, Sokka, Katara, Toph, but you can create a character, and then you get to choose which nation you want to be a part of. And then, like, I don't know, go to the other nations and help them, or fly around as an airbender, or surf on the water as a waterbender, or like sand slash or sand surf, rock surf as an earthbender, or shoot lightning as a fiber. I think that game has potential. If this is a success, they should look into not Avatar Legacy, but just like an Avatar adaptation like that, where you get to choose your own nation. You get to learn how to be a firebender, or earthbender, or waterbender, or airbender. I think that'd be cool.
It's definitely got a lot of potential. I mean, hell, there's a game on PlayStation 4 and 5. I'm not sure if the servers are still up, but it's called Dreams. It's made by the people who made Little Big Planet, and it's literally a game creator like that, but in 3D. And someone actually made sort of a recreation of a few of Avatar's areas. You can fly around the map as Appa, and then for actual areas you can explore like the Water Tribe, and you can explore the Air Temple. And you can actually go in and you see Gyatso's skeleton. Oh, that's a scene right there. That's a scene right there. But stuff like that, it's like it actually somewhat realizes Avatar's world and stuff.
Okay. So back to this live action show. For a season 1, how many episodes, before we even talk about what should be cut and what hopes we have for the show, how many episodes do you think this should be? I'm thinking One Piece was 8 episodes. But I mean, again, they condensed a lot. And Avatar being how many episodes does Avatar have? Maybe 40? No, a little bit more than 40.
Book 1 has 20 episodes.
Damn. Okay, so let's assume Avatar has 100 episodes. Let's just assume that. So since it's not One Piece where you have to cut down 1,000 episodes to really they did up to I'm gonna assume, because I haven't done the episode numbers, but I'm assuming they cut down 100 episodes of One Piece into 8, even out of the 1,000 that exist, which isn't bad. But again, just in general, how many episodes do we think this should be? I'm gonna say for season 1, 10 to 12. I think that's pretty good for something like this. What do you think?
Oh, well, I'm just gonna kind of go off the assumption that Netflix is gonna do their same 8-episode thing. They are doing it with One Piece, like you said. They did it with Sonic Prime. Love that show.
Right. Yeah, Sonic Prime was good.
So assuming it's going to be another 8-episoder with a couple 1 or 2 1-hour episodes, I think they could pull it off.
Okay, so do you think if it's 8 episodes in season 1, should it be the entire Book of Air, or should we cut off to a certain point? I feel like this could go on for a little bit. Do you think it should do up to a certain point in season 1, or should it do all of the Book of Air? What was it? The Book of what? I think Book of Air was first, actually.
No,
because they go to the Air Temple first.
There isn't a Book of Air. I think Air doesn't. We don't actually get a Book Air till Katara.
Oh right, that's 3 seasons. That's right, 3 seasons.
Because
that makes more sense. Okay, I see why I was confused. Okay, so then definitely they shouldn't cut season 1 into 8 episodes. And
go
ahead.
I have my episode list pulled up here, and there's 20 episodes in book 1, and I can already think of a couple that they could cut, but episode 8 is the Winter Solstice, where we meet Roku for the first time, and I feel
that's essential. Him meeting Roku is essential.
I feel like if they're gonna cut the first part anywhere before continuing, they should cut it there, because that's just such a badass episode.
That'd be an awesome cliffhanger too. Like,
yes,
seeing
like
whatever version of Roku is going to be there would be dope.
So yeah, you cut the first book into two halves. One that ends off on the winter solstice, and then the other half ends off on the Northern Water Tribe. And then between that, there are definitely some episodes in here that could be cut.
Right, like kind of like not really filler, but like kind of like it wouldn't serve a live action plot that well, basically. Like if they're like doing like a favor for, I don't really remember all of book one. I mean, all of season one, but I'm gonna assume like I know there was like some downtime moments, which were like to world build, to just show their personalities, things like that. Yeah, I can see that.
Because there's an episode in season one that's pretty much like everybody agrees the Great Divide is the worst episode in Avatar. Like nobody's gonna miss that.
What was the Great Divide again? Remind me real fast.
The Great Divide is an episode where the gang with two A's gets to a canyon, and then right as they get there, two tribes of like that have been at war. Essentially, they're arguing who gets to borrow the tour guide first, and so.
I think I remember something like that.
Yeah, and so the gang agrees to help them through without any quarrels.
Doesn't Sokka go with one tribe and then Katara?
Goes with the other. It's pretty petty, and then
that can be cut. That's a definite filler. It could be like a small thing in one of the episodes, but not like a whole episode.
No, there's literally a gag in the Ember Islands play episode, right? Where at the end of Bookfire, they do the recap.
That was awesome.
When they get to the Great Divide, they say, "Oh, guys, look, it's the Great Divide. Let's keep going." Literally,
funny.
had the gang arrived at the canyon like 5 minutes before, they would have kept going without dealing with that tribe. Had they arrived 5 minutes earlier, that whole episode wouldn't happen.
Well, we need to find that clip and definitely clip that in there. So if we can find that clip, I'll have to put that in at that part. That'll be pretty funny.
Don't cry, baby. Jet will wipe out that nasty town for you.
Oh, Jet. You're so bad.
Look, it's the Great Divide, the biggest canyon in the Earth Kingdom.
Let's keep flying.
That'll be pretty funny.
Let's see. The fortune teller episode can be cut. It's not a bad episode, but it's not very necessary.
Right.
Blue Spirit needs to stay. I don't care if M. Night flubbed it.
Well, what are our hopes for the show? Let's talk about that then. Like, we know, like, the filler, like the Great Divide, or things that, like...
But yeah, that's like two episodes that don't need to be there. But other than that...
Like, episode one, obviously, we meet Aang. Here's a good idea. Episode one, should it end with them, like, awakening Aang and then him activating the Avatar state? And, like, maybe they're, like, afraid or something? Or should it, like... What all happened in that first episode? I can't remember.
It's only a couple of minutes before they meet Aang, and then Aang is just, like... like, the happiest dude alive.
Yeah, because he was literally a kid, frozen for 100 years. I remember that.
But he didn't realize that until much later. A couple episodes after that.
Yeah, not until he goes to the Air Temple and he finds, like, the whole Air Nation's been destroyed and by the Fire Nation and all that. Well, that's going to the tone. So let me just keep out my, like, hopes for the show. I hope the actor looks like he's having fun. Like, he's a kid. He looks like a literal kid. The design of the arrow on his forehead when it glows looks pretty dope. I love how Appa looks. I think the CGI for Momo looks cool.
Oh yeah, it all looks really good. Like, it all looks really convincing.
They put some money into that. Probably because One Piece was such a success. They put money into that.
I don't know, man. This show's been in the works for a few years now. So.
Well, but you can update CGI. So that's what I mean. Like maybe because One Piece did so good, they were like, okay, let's put more money into the CGI and make sure it looks the best it can be. Because like I had some gripes with Arlong at first. Another off tangent, but it's gonna get back on topic. I had a problem with Arlong at first, but the more like the live action of him I saw, I was like, okay, for what they did do, he looks cool. Even though live action Fishman looked kind of gross and weird, but for what they did do, it looked good. So back to the Appa and Momo, like the fact that it looks so good in the trailer, like I'm like, yeah, they probably went back and put some money into it. Speaking of that, their costumes look amazing. Like from what I saw, it's only a minute video, but their costumes look amazing.
Yeah, the shot of Omashu was really good. I was like, oh my god, we're getting Omashu. So we're gonna see King Boomy. It's like you can't have the Omashu episode without King Boomy. I love King Boomy so much. I love that crazy old fucker so much.
I don't like how Zuko looks though. I remember seeing Zuko in the trailer, and I wasn't vibing off that. I don't know what it was. I wasn't feeling Zuko. It could change, but my first initial appearance in that trailer was like, and I think I saw Azula. I think.
I don't remember if Azula was in the trailer, which she doesn't really show up in season 1 except for
she doesn't. That's what I mean. Her and her two friends don't show up until like season 2. And
yeah, they kind of they kind of carry that whole season, don't they? Well, not the whole season, but like
they were amazing antagonists.
They breathe a lot of life into it.
Especially I'm throwing this clip of Azula when she was flirting with the guy. I don't know if you remember that. Like this guy,
like she doesn't know how to talk to people. It's just like the funniest thing. It's like it's all like she doesn't know how to talk to people, and that's just like
he's like, hey, you're pretty cute, and she's like, we and you will become the most powerful couple.
Adorable in the most ironic way.
Yes,
but
I think she flirted with him twice really badly though, because I feel like he gave her a second chance. I can't remember, but I know she did something twice that freaked him out.
and she just wasn't having it the second time, I believe.
Yeah. But that's how great Azula. Like we need Azula to be unhinged. So like later, if they ever do that flirting part, like that could happen. It's just like, I don't know if you can do that in live action. If it'd be just as funny, it could be, but it was perfect in the animation.
Yes. Let's see. We're getting the Kyoshi Warriors. I'm so excited for that.
Oh, what's his name? The grandpa from the Fire Nation.
Iroh. Uncle?
Yeah, he looks cool. I liked his design. The Fire Lord, I'm kind of indifferent because we didn't even see the Fire Lord's face until season 3. But I mean, the reason I'm indifferent because I don't know, he looks cool.
And let's be I'm not sure how many people I'm gonna piss off by saying this. I hope it's a lot. I think if Avatar has one weak element over it, pun not intended, is Ozai is not that great of a villain.
Well, he is the basic, like, not take over the world, but like destroy, like annihilate everything. Like that's pretty much his like only goal.
Ozai sits on the sidelines pretty much the entire time, while Azula really does all the heavy lifting.
Yeah. Well, he's kind of like the guy that kind of like Giovanni from Team Rocket. Like Giovanni doesn't like intervene; he just sends out Team Rocket grunts to do it. But if he has to get involved, then he's like, okay, I'll handle this. It's like kind of like Thanos, kind of like where like Thanos like he sends out his minions, and then he's like, okay, you guys can handle it. I guess I'll have to get my hands dirty because he does eventually. Well, he waits for like the solar eclipse to actually begin his like whole tyrant. Well, yeah, because the rest of the time we don't see him.
But in the flashbacks where we see Sozin and like I can't remember who else it was, but like Sozin and Roku, they actually got up and did a lot more than Ozai does. Like
yeah,
so,
but they were friends though. But I think wasn't Ozai jealous of his friend Roku because he tried to kill him? He didn't try to kill him. They were on an active volcano, and he realized
without you, my plans can be realized.
Yeah. He was like,
and pretty much at And then in the present, Ozai is basically he's riding his ancestors' coattails. That's all it is. That's really all it is.
True. Keeping up that tyrancy. Who else was in there? We didn't see Toph, I don't think.
That's Toph is book 2. Toph is book 2.
Yeah. But you know, I didn't know how much they were going to show for the trailer at all. Like, period.
Wait. Oh, okay, I was thinking of the swamp episode, and I realized that's not till book 2, but before they meet Toph. So that makes. I don't know why I thought that was in book 1.
So yeah, let me just keep it on season 1 then. Because Toph's not in the trailer, she definitely shouldn't be in season 1. She can be a tease for season 2. I wouldn't mind that. Toph or Azula and her friends can be a tease for season 2. Although I think they would probably go with Azula as the tease. Because I thought they teased her in the movie too. They teased Azula and her evil smile. So I can see that.
That movie thought it was getting a sequel.
It did, but I just like the fact that Azula was the teaser for it. I just like that. Yeah. So hopes for the show are high because One Piece live action was good. I know we got a Yu Hakusho coming out, but that's a whole different video and topic.
I need to watch that trailer. I still haven't made it past the Dark Tournament yet.
Yeah, you need to finish that before we even talk about Yu Hakusho.
I know. And then let's see. We're also it's not a Netflix, but we're also getting a Golden Kamuy live action. I have a lot of hope for that.
Nice.
What else was there? There have been some good ones that I know you haven't seen, just because mine are like not hidden gems per se, but they're not like in the limelight as much.
Well, so I think there might be fans out there. Bleach was decent. I just feel like they rushed that plot.
I liked it. I still liked it though. It was cheesy, but like a good kind of it's a fun kind of cheesy, you know?
Yeah.
And it got the heartfelt moments right for sure. And then the Rurouni Kenshin movies. I've only actually seen the first one, but I've heard they're all like the best version of like the story of Kenshin.
Nice. Speaking of heartfelt moments, because you mentioned that, let's talk about the tonal balance. Because Avatar, it has its light moments, but there's also those darker moments, like the Avatar. We don't see the Avatar, the Air Nation being killed, but we feel Aang's like.
It's like you've imagine coming home to find everybody you knew and loved in ruins.
It's like that scene from. Here's a great one. Remember Mulan, the cartoon when
I know exactly. Yes, I know exactly what that just comes at you like a gut punch.
Yeah, the music just stops and you just see like a whole graveyard of dead bodies.
Oh my god, that's what I got with
Avatar. Like him coming home, he was so happy, and he gets there, everybody's dead. He just loses control, goes to the Avatar state. That's what I got.
It's like he's in denial for a minute. It's because everyone's probably busy, you know.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, he did run around looking for him. He did.
It's kind of like it's kind of hard to tell whether he's like in denial or it's like he genuinely believes there's no way they could have.
He probably went through the 5 stages of grief almost immediately. What is it like? Sadness? No, it's
like denial.
Bargaining. Bargaining at some point. I forgot what they are. I know acceptance is last. Denial is first. There's bargaining, grief, or something like that. I forget. I'm forgetting it right now. But I feel like he went through all 5 of those stages almost immediately. Rage is one of them too. So yeah, I feel like so the tonal balance in the show. How do you think they can handle that? Like going from that happy-go-lucky Aang to this Aang that realizes he has to do it at some point, by episode 2 or 3. Sorry. By episode 2 or 3, he has to find out the whole Air Nation is destroyed, and then we have to get the like that Mulan shock, that shock that everybody you know and love is gone. We have to get that. That'd be a total balance change. It doesn't have to be dark the whole show, obviously. Yeah. But there are dark moments in there.
Yeah, one of my favorite things about Avatar: The Last Airbender is the characters, their writing, and the way they just kind of bounce off each other, and they just create that natural, fun chemistry. But at the same time, and I say this to so many people, especially people who have not watched Avatar for whatever reason, Avatar gets as dark as it thinks it can get away with at any given time, and the only thing that ever held it back was Nickelodeon.
Well, they did technically kill Aang at one point. I mean, that was the cliffhanger. Like when he got shot by lightning by Azula, I think that was a cliffhanger for like season 2.
Aang's heart did stop temporarily. He did die. Katara saved him.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah, I know. I'm just saying. I feel like that's how it ended, though. Like it just ended with Aang getting shot and Azula smirking. I don't know that for sure. Don't quote me on that. But I feel like that's one way they could have went dark with it, like end it right there. And I know that was like a major thing because I remember that episode was like talked about a lot. Other dark moments: Zuko being forced to fight his sister, and Agni Kai getting that burn from his dad.
Just kind of being told he was lucky to be born.
Oh yeah, you never want to say that to a child. You never want to say that. That's so wrong. But yeah. I mean, it's to hype up. It's not. Is his name Ozai? Or was that Ozai the Roku's friend?
Ozai is the current Fire Lord. Roku's friend was Sozin.
Right, yeah, Sozin's comment. That's right, yeah, Sozin's comment. Okay, so Ozai. It's the hype of Ozai being evil and like showing how dark he is. Like he's willing to abuse his kid. He is leading the Fire Nation against like, enslaving all these people. Because I remember like they did it in the movie, so I feel like this should be in season 1, where the Firebenders have like the Earthbenders on like a ship of like coal and metal, and like they're not supposed to earthbend or something like that. Like I feel like that'd be like one cool thing to do, especially in season 1, to show like Aang like liberating, because it has like similar themes to like Liberation, where like they're trying to free people that are under the rule of the Fire Nation.
Oh, the Haru episode, yeah. Are they gonna keep that? I wonder if they're gonna keep that.
I feel like it should. It was in the movie, and it's kind of important to show like how the Firebenders are oppressing all these people and stuff like that. You have to show that, because
that was
otherwise,
go ahead. That was definitely a Katara episode. That was because that was kind of Katara's time to shine.
Well, then yeah, definitely. Then it should definitely be in there, because
those
are we have 4 basically protagonists. We have Aang, Sokka, Katara, and Toph. Like there are one, then eventually Zuko, but they're our main protagonists in the show, so we have to give them all moments and stuff like that.
Right. And then fuck, what the hell was I thinking of earlier? Shit. Yeah, and then what like I'm okay with the show getting, dark, but I think the one thing I care more about is them getting, the characters like right. Aang is a goofy kid, but he's also got, for being 12 years old, he still has like this air of wisdom just because of how he was raised.
Plus, he's got the weight. He's literally got the weight of the world on his shoulders. Like literally, the weight of the world is on his shoulders.
Yeah.
So he has to have that. I want him to carry that, not literally carry a burden, but like just have that like show don't tell that he has that burden on him all the time. Like maybe he feels like overwhelmed sometimes or something like. Because in animation you can do that perfectly, but live action he's gonna have to portray that sometimes.
And there's an episode that goes into that. Like, it's, I wouldn't call it borderline filler, but there's actually an episode that sort of switches between Zuko and Aang's point of views, where they're basically, both parties get caught in like a storm, and they sort of reflect on like sort of a couple things that lead to both of them being there.
That's essential too, because again, Zuko he's a primary antagonist at first, but he later becomes a protagonist. So
Zuko's character development is literally like one of the biggest pillars holding the series up.
True, yeah. Let's
see, and I just want Sokka to be funny. As long as Sokka is Sokka, that's I'll be happy.
And Katara, I want her to be like not underconfident, but like building her confidence, because she's like you said, like she proves herself against the waterbender master later. But
it's like even though she doesn't win that fight, it's still a really like shining moment for her to show off everything she learned basically on her own.
Oh yeah, and again, it pays off by season 3 with her fight her beating Azula is a major thing. So building that up over seasons and eventually showing that fight between her and Azula, if we get that far many seasons, would be amazing. So yeah, that's something like make her like self-conscious but confident to an extent, and then we build on that over the seasons. But again, that all still fits with the tonal balance, like her building up confidence, Sokka being funny, making jokes, Zuko being an antagonist at first, showing him like he has like a lot of attitude, a lot of like
more like an angst antagonist. Am I right?
A what?
So more like an angst antagonist. Am I right? all that angst.
Antagonist, yeah. That's a good one. That's pretty funny. We gotta use that antagonist.
No, not angst. Like all that angst inside him,
Oh, true. And then again with our buddy boy Aang being like cheerful, joyful, but still sometimes showing that he's at the weight of the world. Like it's a lot for him. So I think that covers tonal balance. So this video is not too long. Where do we think the season should? Well, we said that we think it should end with him meeting Roku. Which, again, I think I agree with. Just for season 1. Season 2 can be the whole waterbender, or was it Northern Water Tribe or South Water Tribe? I think it was the North Water Tribe.
Northern is the proper city. Southern is the igloo.
Okay, so yeah, the Northern Water Tribe, where he does like the giant tidal wave that was freaking dope, and he goes into Avatar State and all that. And I saw in the trailer Sokka flirting with the Moon Girl. So I hope that is all not in season 1. I hope they do not rush this. Because I saw that part in the trailer. I remember that for sure.
Ooh, that's that might hurt things, but they might be able to make it work.
Okay, well, we're gonna definitely have some out. It's right around the corner. 2 to 3 months from now.
That's gonna pass by in the blink of an eye. We're gonna be so busy.
This whole year has flew by.
That's not a bad thing, though, is it?
No, not really. Any more on the Avatar show?
Let's see. I kind of want to see Jet. Let's see.
He's the bandit guy, leader of the bandits, right?
Yeah, who basically.
Do you think that'd be filler though? Because I don't remember Jet doing anything too important.
It's that episode on its own kind of feels like filler, but he comes back later and has a much bigger impact on things in the Earth finale.
Okay.
And it's just like he's a character like trying too hard to be cool, and I just kind of love it. You kind of love that sometimes. It's like a character who just kind of.
But cool. They do cut people because, for example, just recently they cut Don Krieg in One Piece. They cut Django the Hypnotist. They cut, and Django's essential to Kuro. That's why I bring him up. And then they cut I think one of Buggy's crew members, the Lion Tamer. So I feel like they might cut him just because they might be like, well, I don't know how essential he is those were essential characters to those arcs.
Yeah, and
so that's they might cut Jet for that reason. Like if he's just in 2 scenes, or he's like. Or basically, what he can do, what he did can be cut out. I feel like they might do that.
See, he's only got 1 episode dedicated to him in book 1, but that's really a Sokka episode because they butt heads for reasons, and Sokka was in the right the whole time because Jet wanted to kill an entire town because one old firebender lived there.
Yeah, I remember something like that. Yeah, and then the firebender had quit being a firebender too. He was kind of reformed, but not really reformed. Like he just kind of wait, no, he did he have something to do with Katara's mother, or was that a different...
Jet? Talking about Jet?
No. There was a firebender that hurt Katara's mother, and she was going to kill him at some point.
Yes, that happens in book 3. That's I forget what the group's name is, but essentially, yeah, she tracks him down. And she's about to pretty much take revenge. She's like, I can't do it. Like, I hate you, but I can't do it.
Yeah, that's when they brought bloodbending back again.
I think it's like
when you had said,
go ahead. Okay, that's really the only time you ever see Katara use it, but that's also the most angry you ever see Katara in a serious situation.
Oh, you're wrong there. That's the second time she used it. The first time was whenever she learned it from the witch.
Oh, okay. I'm besides that.
I know. I was
like,
joking. I was joking because I didn't want somebody to be like, actually, Silver. That's the second time.
All right. So, when she used it against Hama, I believe her name was, it's like she kind of felt like she had no choice at that point. But with the guy who killed her mother, I was like, no, she meant to do that. She went in there knowing what she thought she wanted to do. And she was lucky, like she luckily stopped herself at the last minute.
Speaking of tone, I think that episode, the Hama episode, The Witch, was actually on Halloween. I remember it was sometime in October that episode came out because it was hyped up because of the full moon or blood moon and all that. Yeah, because they do it during the blood moon. That's how you learn it. Or not the blood moon. They call that
the full moon.
Lunar.
Because like the full moon like pulls tides in.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was an interesting episode.
Wait. Let me. Is the Cave of Two Lovers episode in book 1 or is that book 2? I think that's book 2. Yep, that's book 2. Never mind. We'll get there eventually.
Yeah. Because we haven't still seen it yet. When it comt out, we can talk about it episode by episode. This is just our speculation. This is just our hopes and like how the episodes
us geeking the fuck out.
Yeah, geeking out. Because that's what we do here. We talk about everything from anime, manga, video games, TV shows, whatever we want to talk about. That's what we do. But yeah, I think that's a pretty good place to end the episode. Unless you have something else you want to say, buddy.
Let's see. Let me see if I can recite some poetry real quick. No, not Shaka. Let's see. Let's see. Shit.
Maybe next time.
That's right, I'm Saka. It's pronounced with an aka. Young ladies, I rocked ya.
Nice. All right, guys. We've been the Everything Anime Podcast. We'll talk to you guys next time.
Hey, guys. This video is sponsored by me, the author of the Shinra series, The Chronicles of Wayne, and Monsterverse. So I figured I'd do this outro a little bit different by showing you guys what you guys will be checking out. So, the Shinra series starts with Book 1, Shobu Samurai Project Aryoku. 10 years after the death of his parents, Shobu Samurai returns home seeking vengeance, but instead faces the choice to save his home from shadow creatures, blood beasts, and an organization once thought dead. Shinra's Shobu Samurai starts at $9.99, and if you love anime, manga, Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, Yu Yu Hakusho, Fairy Tail, Shaman King, Rave Master, Zatch Bell, anything like that, the Shinra series is definitely the series for you. You'll definitely want to check it out. The Sword of Light is probably the thickest one so far, and then these books are 2. This is Enter the Dread Zone Tournament, and the series original ending, Arado the Legendary Conjuring Master. So, and I'll just show you guys some of the covers. Really proud of all of these, but I hope you guys check it out. If you don't like that, I also have the current published books for the Chronicles of Wayne, Love Be Damned, Cotton Candy, Full Moons, Fabled Lovers, A Cursed Virgin's Bite. If You Go Where Monsters Dance, Red will Rain Over Your House. Love Be Damned. Now, the Chronicles of Wayne is about a geeky guy, or a nerdy guy in high school. His senior year, he has a crush on the hottest guy in school, because of course he does. He's only got one best friend, and her name is Barb. Well, the hottest guy in school turns out to be a werewolf. And to make the story more interesting, he bites Wayne and turns Wayne into the first ever wolfman in the last 10 years. And because of that, it was also a sacred law that wolfmen should never be created. I don't want to get into too much of the Chronicles of Wayne without spoiling it, but I can tell you it's very short. This one sells for $6.99, and Love Be Caged right after it. The ending of this trilogy, Love Be Liberated, comes out in October. So I'm going to definitely do a more full in-depth review of this one. But yeah, it's an LGBT fantasy fiction story about werewolves, vampires, white witches, a dark warlock, and, well, many, many more surprises to come. So if you guys like to read, I definitely recommend. These are all the books so far in the Shinra series, except for Shinra's Beginning. I do have that one, but it's just not here with me. But yeah, I appreciate a like, support, or just a review on Amazon. Either way, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a great day.
Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe.